When I was younger, I would see my father. He's a civil engineer, chief engineer, professional engineer. And I saw him form his own company in the land surveying field and civil engineering field, from a one person to two-person draftsman into having his own area, his own building, and now a well-established company in the greater New York City region. Really motivated me when I was a little girl, saying I want to be just like my father. He is a hardworking man, always on the field doing surveying. Then several projects relating to civil engineering and the Department of Transportation. And I always saw him busy, and for some reason that always motivated me into becoming him. I wanted to do that. I started becoming involved in the city when I started interning in an engineering and land surveying company, and also at an architectural firm, both in Queens, New York. I learned a lot about how construction projects run, how everything is managed and deal with surveying purposes and architectural, and how they all intertwine with each other and one needs the other. They come hand in hand with each other. My core values would have to be ethics. Why I learned that, I learned a lot about ethics in college in my civil engineering courses, and I learned the importance of ethics and how a lot of people that are not familiar with engineering or surveying or architecture, they don't really know what type of mistakes can happen. And these type of mistakes surround these civilians every day. So I believe ethical decisions is very important for the daily lives of everyone that walks around in these populated cities. I think our city is a great city because I see pictures from way long ago how it started off as one building, and throughout the years it just slowly starts evolving and becomes more populated, and there's so many ideas and architectural designs and all these buildings and all these new locations technically create more room for other people to come in, find jobs. A lot more opportunity you're going to find in the city as opposed to a very low dense area. The type of projects that we're involved in our company would have to be mostly construction projects, from the beginning of construction, even before construction begins. We have to do a survey of the property. Then they are allowed to understand what's allowed to be taken out, what are the zonings, regulations, and all that, all those information that you need for construction. Then you can see the whole process as to where you're going to put a foundation, and then the architect and the contractors and the engineers and the surveyors will all have to collaborate with each other. Construction is complete. We come back out, we get the final dimensions of the completed building and make sure it correlates with the plans. So like I just said, you're going to be dealing with a lot of clients. You survey first in order to even begin thinking about this. Then they're going to need an architect. And then there's a bunch of all of us working together hand in hand to show and help each other and understand what can we do here? Like what is allowed? Every time I go to Manhattan, I would walk through the streets and I would see these beautiful buildings, not even the new ones. I'm talking the old buildings that have been there and that are still standing. And they're so architecturally pleasing to look at. And also it's just so like, every time I walk through the city, I feel like a sense of like motivation. Like I need to do this. Like this is something that I can come in and I can help, and we can all work together as a community in the engineering and architectural field. We can work together and add more beauty into this. Whatever idea you have in your mind, to not hold back, take it out, put it on the table, discuss with your colleagues. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and just basically put your foot in the game and don't back out. Don't be afraid. Just because you're new doesn't mean anything. You're new, it's even better. You're willing to learn. So I think that's a good start. To start asking a lot of questions. Don't be afraid. Don't hold back. And whatever idea you have, just throw it out there. And the worst thing that you can do is to not say anything.